joining us on the Monday, November 30th, Mayor and Council meeting. This is open mic night, and we've got, it looks like 9 people that wish to speak this evening. I would like to let you all know we do have a 5-minute limit on speaking. And one of the unfortunate things with our Zoom meetings is that they will cut you off rather abruptly at 5 minutes. So I will apologize in advance for that. But if you all would please try to keep it within 5 minutes, that would be awesome. The first person on our list, the first person that raised their hand is Dominique Williams. Can we double check that? Okay, we will try to come back to Dominique Williams. That person may have lost their feed. The next one is June West Holland.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can now. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Technology. Sorry to start off with a bang. I appreciate the time to address the council and you, Ms. Mayor. I have to say I strongly oppose, though, the express lanes on Georgia 400, which I think is the reason why we're talking here today. Don't worry, I don't need 5 minutes to rant. But more than opposing those, I think I'm really concerned and I oppose the way this matter has been handled in general. While I'm appreciative of the opportunity to address you all today, I'm not particularly satisfied that this issue has been taken very seriously, that the concerns of Roswell citizens like me have been heard, taken seriously, and more importantly, addressed. And what I mean by that is an open, transparent matter. In other words, I get the feeling that this decision has largely been made to put the express lanes at Grimes Bridge Road by GDOT, not even a Roswell situation. And our requests for studies, data, I've attended the meetings, I've written each and every one of you all several times, has not happened, has just not been seen through. Now, I'm also the first one to say, like I said, sorry for getting off on a fiery note here, but I do not know all that goes on. I would never claim that. So please prove me wrong. But to date, I haven't seen anything that satisfies all of our numerous communications and all these meetings that are going on. I'm looking for information to really understand how it is that Grimes Bridge Road has been selected as this optimal choice, other than being the easiest, most financially driven solution. So I don't know if anyone can address that, or if someone else on the call will have a similar concern, but that's where I stand right now. Disappointed, sorry to say, very disappointed, but still hopeful and love Roswell. So let's see what we can do together. Please don't allow this project to proceed on what seems to be based on the wrong information. Let's listen to what people are saying and find another solution. If it's going to happen, then let's save everyone the time and angst now and come up with other ways to slow that speed limit down on Grimes Bridge Road, which has schools, children, parks, and it can't be widened. So that's all I have to say. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much for taking the time this evening to weigh in on this topic, and please understand that we are listening. We do take your comments seriously, and I believe we'll have several other folks that are going to come in about the same topic. So the next person is Catherine Barr.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
There we go. Good. Thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm a Roswell resident who would like to speak towards the value of the Roswell Arts Fund. and asked to have the budget at least partially reinstated for art around Roswell and other important projects. I'd suggest three primary reasons it's in our benefit to do that. Number one, in these times, mental health is a struggle for all of us, and the Roswell Art Fund programs are public art, outdoor programs, and other COVID-safe activities that uplift us and reduce stress and promote well-being. The second reason is that artists are in need. The pandemic hit the art community disproportionately hard, and the Roswell Arts Fund supports artists and give them places to showcase their work. And the last one is that the Roswell Arts Fund is finally hitting full stride with strong leadership and a professional staff. And without additional funding, the Roswell Arts Fund is in danger of losing all that momentum it's painstakingly built up over the last few years. And just a quick story. Last year, I volunteered to hand out maps of Roswell's public art at Riverside Sounds and Music on the Hill every week that they were on. And I started by asking people if they were familiar with some of the Roswell art. And I was just blown away with the number of people who said that not only were they well aware that they enjoyed them, some of them had favorite. And I even recall one woman saying that one of the reasons behind her recent move to Roswell was because of the way the city embraced and promoted the arts. So my ask is that you reinstate at least a portion of the Roswell Arts Fund budget so they can continue to help make Roswell the vibrant city that it is, that attracts investment and promotes a sense of community. So thank you. And I also just want to quickly thank you for being on the city council. I know it's a tough job, even in good times, and I really appreciate your service, especially this year.
Thank you very much. Very kind comments, and we certainly are taking them to heart. The next person is Karen Kaplan.
There we go. Good evening. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. All right. I'll be very succinct. Thank you for the opportunity to voice some thoughts and opinions tonight. Here's basically what I have to say, and that is that the people who run Roswell talk about two underlying values: protecting neighborhoods and providing transparency. When those officials approved access to new express lanes onto Georgia 400 from Grimes Bridge Road, they violated both. Regarding neighborhoods, of all the access points available in Roswell to build express lanes, Roswell selected the most neighborhood-centric one of all, a highly congested two-lane road lined with hundreds of homes, 3 schools, bike paths, etc. You know the rest. Regarding transparency, by failing to engage impacted citizens in the process, and by using euphemisms like south of Holcomb Bridge instead of Grimes Bridge Road to refer to the proposed site of the new express lanes, you stole our ability to be proactive. You stole our voice. You stole our right to protect our neighborhoods and schools. You failed us, and now you have lost our trust. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person on the agenda is Mr. Scott Hitch.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Great, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to speak. I also would like to be brief. I sent you all some comments earlier today. I hope you've received them. I won't belabor everything that's in those comments tonight. I'm coming to you as a 20-plus year resident of Roswell and in my capacity as the chair of the board of the Roswell Arts Fund. I want to first thank you and share a note of appreciation for the hard work that it takes to go through the city budget in any year, and especially this year. And also thank you for the long partnership that Roswell Arts Fund has enjoyed with the city. As you know, it was an outgrowth of the city's idea. In 2014 and 2015, we were designated as the city's public art agency, and we have enjoyed that partnership since that time. Um, as you know, you're going to be considering budget amendments tonight, and as I understand, later in January as well, moving forward through the year. And I just want to highlight the fact that Roswell Arts Fund is facing an existential concern with the budget as it currently stands now. And I'd also like to encourage you to restore the budget in particular. And again, I won't go through every program that we do, but Art Around is the most visible program and the oldest that's in the city. As you know, we have 10 permanent sculptures that are spread throughout the city, and 10 temporary sites, largely on Rec and Parks property, that we every year provide temporary sculptures through that program. The funding request that we have before you, and we've made a couple of changes to that through this process as we've looked at the whole year and then again by quarter, are critical for us to be able to present that program next year. And so I would encourage you to look carefully, reach out to us if you have any questions about how we operate that program. And I would encourage you, if you haven't recently, to visit our website at www.roswellartsfund.org. The members of the public are encouraged to do that as well. All of our financial data is there. Very detailed information about our programs is there. And I would encourage you to visit that when you have the opportunity. We are dedicated to being creative and proactive as the financial challenges that we face through COVID and shutdown this year, and appreciate your creativity in working through the budget as well. We are dedicated to meeting those promises that we've made in our memorandum of understanding with the city. We live up to those promises, and hope and encourage that you will support us in that effort. Again, I don't want to take up all of your time. Our Executive Director, Gila Sanders, will be available this evening in your regular meeting as you consider the budget in detail. So I would encourage you to ask any questions you have of her. She'll be open and available during that meeting. And again, feel free to call on me at any time. Really appreciate what y'all are doing. And thank you for your attention and support. Appreciate it.
Thank you. The next person in the queue is Lorraine Cowan.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. Thank you for letting us speak. I do want to mention that I did try to speak at the last city council meeting. I don't know if there was technical issues or what happened, but for some reason I was not able to talk. So I appreciate the opportunity now, and I'm just going to basically say what I wanted to say last time. And that's basically that the proposed Georgia 400 Express Lane route that goes directly through neighborhoods, past schools, is the wrong route. It should be going through commercial corridors. The proposed plan will take an already congested 2-lane neighborhood road that's lined with hundreds of homes, multiple schools, cyclists, pedestrians, hikers, an adult recreation facility, soccer fields, Vickery Creek, Oxbow Bridge, a protected national forest preserve, go on. And you're going to use them, you're going to connect them to the only express lane access point between Haynesbridge Road and Northridge Road. So that means all the traffic coming from Alpharetta has nowhere to go except to Grimesbridge Road to get on those express lanes. So you're talking about extra traffic that I'm not sure was thought out, certainly not in any of the studies. Road speeding on and off and access to major roadways should really be directed to businesses that would benefit from the express lane traffic. That's a lot of revenue, prospective revenue that Fulton County's going to lose, Roswell's going to lose, and local businesses are going to lose. Per GDOT's analysis, the project is expected to increase accident at Grimes Ridge Road and Dogwood Road intersection, directly in front of the Swift School, approximately 2 times the rate of accidents per year when compared to the no-build model. I don't see any of the studies that came pre-pandemic that occurred during the school drop-off in the morning, during rush hour. That traffic backs up all the way to Oxbow Road and beyond. So there were no studies that just did. We know that during the day, Grimes Ridge Road is a lightly traveled road, but you have to really take into consideration during morning rush hour, pre-pandemic, of course. Other things to take into consideration is Atlanta's famous ice storms that shut down the city every year. Well, they leave cars stranded in neighborhoods all along Grimes Ridge Road due to the steep, windy terrain. Every year I could take pictures. I have pictures of multiple, probably dozens of cars that are just parked along the road. We also have flooding from Chattahoochee River along Riverside Road and Azalea. We just had those closures. Was any of this taken into consideration when planning a safe, favorable route to and from the express lanes? We were told by the Roswell Department of Transportation that the data provided by GDOT shows deterioration of underperforming intersections would not be further researched or studied until there's a problem. GDOT's data shows that there is going to be a problem, and we're going to take a wait and see approach. Are you okay with that? We're going to wait and see if there's a problem. Why are we taking a wait and see approach? What steps is Roswell going to do to protect the existing residential, school, and recreational land uses in this affected area? For years, Roswell council members and mayor have campaigned and won elections based on promises to protect neighborhoods. Neighborhoods first, I believe, is the campaign. In your opinion, are you protecting neighborhoods with this plan? Do you feel that as elected officials and the Roswell Department of Transportation did enough community outreach to make sure that the neighborhoods affected would be notified and perhaps allow for residents' involvement in the process? And if so, I'd like to know what that outreach was. Not GDOT's. We know about GDOT's. We've already had meetings with them. I'd like to know what RDOT and City of Roswell did. Do you feel that given GDOT's data showing continued deterioration of underperforming intersections, that Roswell has done its due diligence and enough study to prevent these local roadways from having increased traffic issues? Or do you believe that the wait and see approach that the department director, Mohammed Rauf, suggested is sufficient? I'd appreciate responses and answers to these questions. I don't know if that's possible, but I would love a follow-up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next person on the agenda is, and I'm sorry if I murder your name here, Pete Kowalina.
Hi. There's not a lot more I can add to what's already been said about the express lane on Grimes Bridge Road. I can speak for myself and several of my neighbors in the Shadowbrook subdivision that don't understand how the process was undertaken. And we strongly oppose the Grimes Bridge Road access point. I guess I further would like to say or ask, what kind of impact studies were done? What are the plans with respect to Grimes Bridge Road? And if this is a done deal, what are you going to do with respect to widening the road? As a couple of people have already mentioned, it's heavily traveled by bicycles. Between 6:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning, it's an absolute nightmare with traffic backing up well beyond my neighborhood. So I guess the only thing I want to add is I am strongly opposed to this, and we would like further discussion before a final decision is made, if that's possible. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. The next person, and we must have saved all the difficult names for me to pronounce to last, Marissa Pereira. I hope that was somewhat close.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. The name is Pereira. If you keep the I silent, it's easier to pronounce. I am president of the Vickery Creek Subdivision HOA, And from all the comments thus far, it appears that there is a consensus that the communication between Roswell mayor, city staff, and the constituents is subpar at best. The word transparency is not applicable in Roswell. Doing the same thing repeatedly but expecting different results is the definition of insanity. We need change. The time to talk about this is over. We need action to correct this problem. Here are some needs that we residents have that will start a solution. Number one, since ongoing online meetings seem to be here for a while, the list of all speakers who signed on should be published. I myself was denied a chance to speak last month after jumping through all the hoops required. Number two, technical process should be spelled out in the confirmation that speakers receive via email. This should include contact information for access to an IT assistant who can troubleshoot with residents having technical difficulties during the meeting. The goal is to encourage open discussion and ideas rather than use technical difficulties as an excuse to curtail our voices. When the mayor thinks that the list of speakers is exhausted, she should reference the published list and ask if anyone has still not spoken. The IT personnel on the team, referenced by the mayor, should also be able to see the people that are signed on and allow them speaking privileges based on the speakers list. There is much chaos, and as you've heard in previous comments, the root cause is lack of transparency, or it seems to be chaos caused by inconsistent, inaccurate, and conflicting information. All these appear dishonest and are numerous. One example, in the meeting on October 26th, the confusion regarding what exactly was being signed off on was clear. Some council members thought, because they were openly told in the meeting, that the vote was about bridge aesthetics, whereas the agenda item itself said approval for mayor and or city administrators to sign an IGA with the Georgia Department of Transportation for a partnership on P1757, the construction of express lanes SR 400 and approval of budget amendment number. The mayor and team pressured the council members to vote immediately, but per all the documents we had seen ourselves, Roswell had until December 31st to sign the IGA. In the end, the vote was cast and passed and includes the GDOT plan with express lanes access from Grimes Bridge Road. Therefore, this was not about aesthetics at all. We residents have reached the conclusion that this is not just ineptitude. It is indicative of manipulative processes where conclusions are forced by misrepresentation. We, the people, did not vote for this. The Roswell website is not updated with all information that is relevant and should reflect all updates and relevant information. This needs to change. We expect and deserve transparency, honesty, respect enough to hear us, a chance to exercise our First Amendment right to speak, discuss, offer solutions based on our needs and concerns. We really look forward to the day that our Roswell elected officials actually welcome their constituents' input and we can really work together as a team for all our good. In our January public meeting, we would like the topic of transparency listed as an agenda item and would like the mayor to present solutions to address the problems outlined while incorporating some suggestions that I presented earlier. Thanks very much.
Thank you, and I will assure you that I will be meeting with IT to go over your concerns and the Zoom process and how we can make that as transparent as possible and also as clear as it can possibly be. I understand that it can be difficult to sign in. I've also understood that sometimes with their people do get dropped off, and I apologize for that. And we will do everything we can to make sure that that doesn't continue to happen in the future while we're on Zoom. Hopefully, Zoom will not be going on into the far future. I think right now, as we're looking at the second wave of COVID, it's going to be a certainty in the next couple of meetings, but I promise you that I will look into that, and we will do whatever we can to make the process much easier on our residents, because we do actually want to hear from you. The last person on the open forum agenda is Jean. Is he? Okay, now I'm told, see, okay, so here's what I'm dealing with right now. I'm told that Jean Izzy, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, has dropped off the call. I will ask IT again. Dominique Williams, is Dominique Williams available? That was the first name I had called. And that person has also dropped off the call. So I apologize for that. And like I said, we will do whatever we can in the future to make sure that this process is much more seamless, because we really do want to hear from you, and we will be responding to your concerns. Those are all of the items or people that we had signed up to speak for open mic night. So this meeting is adjourned. We'll take a 5-minute recess before we go into our regularly called mayor and council meeting.